Welcome everybody to Retrospection. Today's show is a great one. This is our first time doing this, as you can obviously tell.
It's already great.
It's great. We haven't even started and it's great. So
we're putting a high bar up, aren't we?
Oh yes. So I am McKay Barney. I thought it'd be kind of cool if we started out by saying what our favorite recent memory game is, and then our favorite game as far as our memories go, like distant memories, so like childhood. So I'm McKay. My favorite game in recent memory is a very tough one. It's either between Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. And that is very tough. I'm going to have to go with Mario Odyssey, though.
Yay!
So I'm a huge Mario fan, even though I have a Zelda shirt on. Which seems backwards. But, so that's my most recent memory one. My favorite game in childhood. I played a lot of PlayStation, but as an early child, when I was like 4, we had a Super Nintendo, and I have a lot of really good early memories with that. So I'm gonna have to say Super Mario World is my favorite.
Let's go.
What about you?
Very nice. Hello, I'm David. That's my name. I was gonna say Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. I think they're probably the best two games in like the last 10 years. He has the Zelda shirt. He went with Mario. I have the Mario shirt. I'll go with Zelda. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Childhood game. Probably my favorite childhood game that I play now is Mario 64, but during my childhood it was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So I'm doubling down on the Zelda. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, I've been like running through my head trying to figure out a recent game because I'm
Putting
kind of
the
behind.
pressure on.
I'm a few years behind. I'm Ben, by the way. My probably recent favorite would be, and this might not be fair because I haven't finished it, but the new Assassin's Creed Syndicate has been really awesome. It's in the one in London in like the 1800s.
That one. I love the art style.
I've always loved the Assassin's Creed series, but that one's like been my favorite one so far of all of them. That's like the most recent one I can think of. The new Deus Ex might be newer than that. I don't know. But and childhood, well, Sonic 2. Right? It's gotta be Sonic 2. That's the one I always go back to.
He's representing correctly for it.
Actually, Sonic Mania might be a better one. That's very, very recent. That's like
Sonic. I haven't
the last year or so.
That one's right. I'm stuck on the second to last level,
yeah,
which is terrible.
Such a good one, but we can talk about stuff like that later. But Sonic. I like Sonic, obviously.
So awesome. As a preference. What we're doing here is we record all of our episodes for the week all in one day, and then we release slowly throughout the week. And today's segment is our news segment, and there is a frick ton of crap that we need to talk about. So, do we want to start with non-Nintendo things? Since, I don't know.
Go for it.
Should we start with the biggest thing, or like work our way up to a big thing? What's the biggest thing that we have this week?
Let's start with the Nintendo Direct.
Okay.
So you can tune in. Ben's a little less of a Nintendo fan, as you can see from frickin' Sega.
I'm a traitor to this
Nintendo
panel, but
not Nintendo.
Hey, the way the directs work is like that anyway. They just start with kind of irrelevant stuff and then work up to the big things. It works out perfectly if we just start with the direct.
So, the Nintendo Direct, for Nintendo fans, it was kind of exciting. Some equated it to almost better than E3 was, which, what do you think?
I think, just my overall opinion of this direct, there were certain things we could expect. We could expect, like, maybe a new Smash character. We could expect talking about the online service. And the things that we could expect, I wasn't too thrilled with. Like, we could expect them, and I didn't get, like, too excited. Like, maybe because I saw what they announced coming. But then the surprises they threw in here I thought were really good.
So, let's first talk about the, you were talking about disappointments. kind of. I don't remember how you phrased it. I have a short-term memory. So the first thing that comes to my mind is Nintendo Switch Online. Let's talk about that first.
$20 a year.
$20 a year, which is
that's really not bad.
Oh,
If you do the family plan, it's like
$35
I am wondering something
for each person if you have 8 people.
If either of you know this, but can you do it outside of like? I know it's a family plan, but sometimes you can share it with people like outside.
No one in my family is in my family plan.
Nintendo
This is a friend plan, you know.
Yeah.
They don't have like agents going around checking our social security cards, making sure that.
Because I was thinking like we might get a Switch, so I'm like, well, if like I want to get a Switch and you had Direct and we wanted it too, it's $20 a year. How much is it for a family plan?
35
for eight people.
And you
so
can
if you split that,
yeah.
you'd be paying less per year for each of you.
Yeah.
Especially, and you could have we could have all of us like sharing. That's crazy that you can do that.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So
because they're not going to knock down your door.
Yeah, I still have like 4 open spots. I could just like add you guys, and it's like, you pay nothing. Like it's not expensive.
See, that's awesome. And even if you were paying alone, it's $20 a year.
Yeah,
it's good to start out with the disclaimer that you do get what you pay for, and their value here, I think, is really good, but compared to other services like Xbox and PlayStation, it falls a bit short. So, in the Nintendo Direct, there was a lot of information we had before we had the Direct, and they were like, we're going to talk about online more, and they really didn't say anything new at all. They talked about the same stuff like it was new. They're like, the one thing that drives me crazy is they're like, now you can play games online.
Yeah, that's a new thing. That's special.
What
Nobody's
have I been
doing that
doing
these days.
for a year and a half?
Yeah.
So
the weird thing is, they actually did add like 1 or 2 new features that they just didn't even cover.
Yeah.
And they're the most exciting things. And it's like they didn't even cover them.
Do you want to talk about that?
I can talk about them.
Okay.
Please.
One thing is the voice chat. I didn't try it when it came out. It's an app on your phone. Apparently it was just horrible when it came out. Just absolutely awful.
Yeah.
What was wrong with it?
I don't know.
So
it just didn't work well.
There wasn't much functionality with other games. It was basically, here's the Splatoon companion app. So you could use
companion apps.
The Switch doesn't have a way for you to play, or like you can't hook up a headset to the Switch and talk to people. You have to go through the app on your cell phone, which will communicate with your Switch through the internet. I don't even think it's through direct Wi-Fi. It's just through the internet or something, and it'll be like, oh, you can talk here. Send the signal to your app, and then your app will have your talking capabilities.
Latency.
So,
obviously.
I don't know how bad it is. I haven't tried it, but that's how it was. And basically, the Nintendo Switch online app only really did stuff with Splatoon, as far as I know. There could have been other things, but...
Yeah, I don't know how it was at the beginning. I just heard bad things, but I've tried it since it came out. And one huge thing, you might not even know this, you can talk with strangers on there.
I heard that.
You don't have to, like, add friend codes or whatever. I did it with Mario Kart. There might still be, like, compatibility issues at this point with, like, which games work. Hopefully, like, I can see, like, you join a game online with Smash, you just enter a lobby, and everyone in there's sitting there talking if they have the app open.
My hopes is that third parties don't have to specifically program in. They can just have their, like, oh, you can talk at this section of this game, like in, say, Fortnite. People can talk to each other. Like, if you play multi-platform, you can hear people talking to you unless you turn it off. And you can't talk back. But hopefully now, like with Mario Kart, I heard people on another podcast talking about how you talk to random people. And especially, they thought it was really fun because when you play worldwide, you can just talk to strangers that are in different countries. And that's something you don't usually see, because most games, it's like, oh, you're in the US, let's pair you with US people so there isn't confusion. Mario Kart's just like...
Which
there
is,
you go.
Dude, it's crazy. Nintendo has always been super like, friend code, friend code, friend code. Don't let little kids get paired with people who are going to swear at them or whatever. But now suddenly you can just talk to Japanese people. It's like... This is crazy, Nintendo, but they said nothing about it.
Yeah, nothing in the Direct at all. It just happened. And then there was another thing, right?
There's a game sharing thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can have your friend log on to your account on his Switch.
It's like,
and then he can just
Steam-
download all your
Steam
eShop
family
stuff.
sharing, basically.
He has to be connected. Like if you download some of your games on his Switch, he'll have to be playing like on your account connected to the internet. But you could still just be playing offline at your house. There's basically like a master account, and then other people can like log into your account from their Switch.
Okay.
So you can't just like have 20 people playing your games, but you
Yeah.
could have one person connected to the internet and then you offline both playing it.
You have to have, like...
So you could both be playing it at the same time,
Yeah.
really. Steam doesn't.
Yeah, if you were offline, you could play the game, and then your friend could be online on their Switch.
Can you do that with Steam, though?
I think you
Can you play offline?
I think
as
you
long
can
as you're
play
offline,
the
it
system.
shouldn't matter, right? If you're sharing a game with someone else, if they're offline and they're playing it,
Well,
I think it might lock
it's
you out.
cool
I
with
don't
Steam
know.
because they have that family feature, but you can
Yeah.
just like share your entire game library with them.
That's what I'm saying. Because I know you can't play like simultaneously, obviously, and if like you're playing one of their games and they go to play a different game in their library, it'll kick you
Yeah.
out.
So,
But I think it just stops you if you're offline.
Nintendo, it's just with certain games. So, like, someone can play one of your games, you can still play one of your other games, and nobody will get kicked off.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's really
All right.
nice. So those are two
Not bad.
things. Oddly enough, when Nintendo was like, "We're going to share more," they didn't talk
Didn't
about
share.
they didn't talk about the more stuff that they had hiding. Let's see. I have an acronym written down. So everybody knows about the NES games on the Switch. I saw you tweet about it.
That's pretty cool.
You
Tweeted
can
me crashing a couple games. Doing
Yeah, I
glitches
saw
and
someone
stuff.
that they were still able to break them. I think it was Dr. Mario that they broke. That
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
so
That one didn't have the message. I did a Super Mario Bros. 3 glitch and it just popped up and said, an error occurred in the game. That was the end of that.
All right, fair
it
enough.
just stops.
Fair enough.
So
That was kind of cool. It was like a straight.
this is really neat. So you are like the master as far as we are concerned at emulation quality. What do you think about the emulation quality on it?
First of all, I want to say that the UI, just like the menus and everything on the NES games, are super good, especially compared to like the arcade classics they've released on the Switch. Those are designed by like monkeys. They're so bad. Like I can't even explain it. It's just like I'm baffled it's on a Nintendo console because their stuff is usually like Nintendo quality seal of approval. But yeah, those were bad,
well.
and the difference is night and day. You just like click on a game, you can leave, you can go into another one within like a second and a half.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Oh,
perfect.
it's so snappy. You launch Mario Bros. The second you click on Mario Bros. 3, it's there.
Yeah.
No loading time. It's
I would
just,
hope so.
and then like you can
Mario
exit. You go into the next game.
Yeah.
No loading time at all.
You can
It's
make
just
4 like save states, like restore points with each game, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so it's really good. The only problem is that there's a little bit of input lag. I don't know how
yeah?
much that will affect people. It's like not too bad. Normally any amount of input lag, like I do speedruns and it really messes me up, but I was still able to do a lot of stuff, so it's not horrible. It's definitely better than like Wii U Virtual Console was, but it's not quite as good as Wii Virtual Console was.
yeah. That was pretty king.
Yeah. I haven't tried playing with other people online though, so it might be worse in that situation.
So, a side question, kind of related. How do you feel about the emulation on their classic consoles? Have you ever tried those?
Like NES Classic,
Yeah.
SNES Classic? I think this actually works better than those. Like, they have
So-
more input
so-
delay than this does.
I don't know how official. I just heard that it was the same emulator that they were using in this program as
You know
the
what?
classic
It
consoles.
could be. It feels about the same if I'm playing on my TV, but if I play the Switch in handheld mode, there's like less latency, so it doesn't have to go through the TV. So then it felt better, but I can't play the classic consoles in handheld mode.
Yeah.
So that's probably why the Switch feels better to me.
So that brings another point. Because it's very similar to the classic consoles, at least as far as I know, it's already been hacked.
Right,
People
I
have
heard
hacked it
that.
already.
I heard
Oh.
about that.
Of course.
Like within 24 hours, not even 24 hours, it was hacked. Somebody had their own NES games playing on it, and the reason for that is because the the games, they aren't like encrypted at all. They're straight up .NES files, which is what you see with emulation when you download ROMs offline. It's .NES files.
Oh, so you can just...
You just throw anything onto the Switch, and it'll...
seems kind of silly. Then.
Wow, that's interesting because if you make a Japanese Nintendo account, you can download the Famicom list of titles, and some of those are actually... I don't know if you guys are familiar with what this is, but the Famicom Disk System...
Oh, yeah.
It's like an attachment to the original Famicom, which is just Japanese NES. And the Famicom Disk System, it played like floppy disk games and had like added sound channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pick the original Legend of Zelda from like the Famicom list on the Switch, it's the FDS version. It has like the different music and stuff.
You can hear more instruments. You can have multiple sound effects playing. If you play the NES and you're listening to music and then you like
have low health.
You have low health, half the music's gone because there's only 4 sound channels. You can only have 4 instruments, and one of it's noise and the other's drums, and then... Or no, one's bass, and then there's 2 higher instruments, and then there's noise and drums. And so if you have like your heart thing, which is a high-pitched sound, half of your high-pitched music is gone.
Yeah.
So you just have bass and drums and...
Yeah.
Which is...
That's crazy that they can just... hack it to do whatever .NES files, because they can probably do FDS files in that case too.
I saw a video of somebody playing Kirby from the... I don't remember the actual name of the game. Kirby, which one it was. Because I know the first one was actually on the Game Boy. But that's another subject. Anyways, so that was some of the fascinating stuff that I saw. There's drama behind cloud saves. I don't even know if we want to get into that. It's not that big of a deal. It can be. The reason there's controversy is because you can't back up your save to your SD card. And so the only way you can rely on having your saves if your Switch bricks is uploading it to the cloud. And you don't have that if you don't pay for online, which it's... And $5 a year if you are in a family plan. So why are you worried?
Don't like some games you can't back up to the cloud or something like that?
There's Splatoon. That's a big part of the controversy. Like their biggest online, you have to pay to play Splatoon online because it's an online game. That's it, and you can't back up your data, which is weird. A big point of controversy because people are like, I have to pay for online to play this. Yet if my Switch bricks, everything is gone.
It was a way to prevent like people doing like exploiting games with their cloud saves or something like that.
Yeah, so like it's not compatible with the Pokemon game that's going to come out, and the reason for that is you could trade your Pokemon and then be like, oh, I want my cloud save. Right. I have that Pokemon again. So you can just keep.
So it does make sense. People are mad about it, but it does. Make
sense. There
There's
is sound logic behind it, but.
It's kind of annoying.
The thing wrong with this is Splatoon was built before online was really fully thought through on Nintendo's side, and so all the data is backed up on your console. It's not backed up on the servers for the game. A lot of Nintendo relies on peer-to-peer communication, which is why Super Smash Bros. Brawl Online sucked so bad, and I think 4 was also kind of bad, right? Because it was peer-to-peer, and it just didn't work very well. Because you have 4 people playing, everyone has to communicate with each other instead of the 4 people communicating. Like, the way peer-to-peer works, you know how it works, right? Mm-hmm. One person has a bad connection, everybody has slow connection because they're all waiting for that one guy to communicate.
That's when you say, who's lagging, why is it lagging.
When you have dedicated servers...
It is someone's fault.
When you have dedicated servers, the system, no matter if somebody has like a bad connection, your system, like, it does like this estimation thing where it'll be like, we think this guy's going to be here. And that's why you don't see people glitching around all the time.
That's how you get killed by people you didn't even see were there because the input lag and all
like
of a sudden
when we play Left 4 Dead because they don't have any official servers anymore. That's why some people are like.
Well, I know. Like playing TF2, that happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
it's terrible.
You'll get killed by a sniper who like you were very clearly out of the sight line of, but because of the input lag, it compensates.
Right. Anyway,
very annoying. But
so let's continue. We spent a lot of time talking about. Switch Online.
What else you got?
We have... These might have to be longer segments than I thought. We have... The beginning of the Direct started out with the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon theme.
Is that what it was? I didn't play Dark Moon, so I didn't recognize
I didn't
it.
either, but I know it wasn't the original theme, and I know
Right.
I know what the Dark Moon theme sounds like.
Okay.
I'm a freak, and I listen to game soundtracks in my free time.
What a weirdo.
Same.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Not to do that or anything.
so it started out with that theme, and then they showed a couple little clips of Luigi, just kind of going around
That was
a
pretty
mansion, which is
Actually,
a
a hotel.
because there's room numbers and luggage, and
Is it
there's a
a-
lobby.
There's a
It's in
check-in
a
desk, and there's...
and then
cool.
they
Now
show
that I think about it,
they
yeah.
show that footage, and then they show their little logo screen. It says Luigi's Mansion 3 working title.
It's like Luigi's Hotel.
And it has like this massive, towering, freaky, dark building that
Which is great, because it means it's not like Dark Moon, where there's a million mansions. Like, I
yeah.
think there's only like 3,
You
but-
progress through one giant hotel, and so that's pretty cool. It'll be interesting
Tower
to
of
see
Terror
how they do
Feel
that.
at least more like the original, because you do like go up. At the very end, you go to the basement, but the
Yeah,
original.
that's like a mad dash through the entire mansion while the power's out and ghosts are going crazy.
Yes.
That was cool. That was my favorite part. But anyway,
2019, huh?
2019.
Did they give an official date on that?
No.
There's not a
Just
lot of official
2019.
dates.
Honestly,
Q something 2019.
It's probably going to be like October.
this
I'm
is
thinking
something
Q4.
about Luigi's Mansion. When I very first watched it, I was a little underwhelmed, because at first I was like, wait, is this 3DS? Like, it didn't look amazing graphics-wise, but here's
yeah.
the hope. Go and look at the very first footage of the first Luigi's Mansion. It looks horrible. Like,
We'll put
it
some
looks
on.
so different.
The
than-
GameCube.
We'll put some
Yeah.
comparison on.
It's
and
pretty
post.
bad.
It's insane, the difference. So, who knows what difference there could be between now and when we get
Yeah, because
Luigi's
this
Mansion
is
3
this is
working title.
pretty early footage. Everybody knows E3 footage shown first is very notorious for being very different. Like, you look at the first footage of Mario Sunshine, the whole town is completely different. The colors are different.
Yeah. I guess
so
that's true for most games. Like,
every-
Ocarina of Time was like...
they're gonna have an overhaul. It's gonna look way better, and
Right.
I have high hopes. I'm excited because I was really bummed. We're LDS, so there's like this weird divide with the Wii U and 3DS time period, because I went on an LDS mission, or like Mormon church mission, and so I never got a chance to play through much of the Wii U or the 3DS, and so like I didn't see much of a point in buying Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS.
Mhm.
So, and now the 3DS is basically dead, so.
Rip.
They said they weren't going to do that. They're doing that. The Switch is taken over, pretty much.
Pretty
It's true.
much.
It's true.
And it has already.
It's like, what can we release on the 3DS these days? Just like,
that's
let's just port
first
a
Luigi's
GameCube
Mansion
game, or port Kirby's Epic Yarn, for example.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't even write those down really. 'Cause I wrote this is my direct notes for
For the Direct.
for the direct 3DS bullet point 3DS titles. Next bullet point, would love them. Next bullet point, don't have a new 3DS. Can't play Epic Yarn. It's a new 3DS. There's the
You can't play
3DS,
it?
then there's the new 3DS, and Epic Yarn I heard was a new 3DS only title. Anyways, you can't play SNES games on a normal 3DS anyways. So
Switch is overlord.
don't have a new 3DS. I has Switch now. Do not need 3DS. Switch is overlord. Those are my only notes for the 3DS. I didn't
Fair
even.
enough.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Missed out on a lot of 3DS and Wii U stuff, which is why I'm not upset whenever they port Wii U stuff to Switch. I'm like, I didn't play it, so
Yeah,
perfect.
I'm so happy. Another one, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. What a mouthful.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm excited for that. Never got to play Luigi U. They're both coupled together, which is great. Luigi U is supposed to be really hard, and I'm excited because some of those new Mario games are not very hard.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, that's another one. I don't know if there's much to go in there, but
Peachette.
Peachette.
That's all.
Please kill me. I don't want to play it. Like they better have a normal playing option for 4-player, because if somebody gets stuck with Peachette, they're not gonna like that.
There's probably gonna be 2 Toads. I don't know.
I hope you can choose.
Yeah.
What I'm guessing is that when you play 1 player, you can choose between Nabbit, who doesn't get hurt by enemies. You can just run through everything. Then there's Toadette, who can turn into Peachette, which is really weird, and that's for handicapped people who can't play Mario.
But it's exactly like the squirrel suit, because you just do an extra
Yeah,
double jump. But you
they have
can't,
this-
like, slow... Or there's some thing that squirrel suit does that Peachette can't do. So it's like a worse squirrel suit.
Yeah, so I just don't even want to deal with that. Anyway, so yeah, there better be an option for normal all 4 people, or else I'm going to chuck something at a wall. That was actually the next bullet point anyways. I
Chuck
just
things at
knew
walls.
it was on my... So, there isn't too much to say about Super Mario Party. It's the Mario Party
I
we've
have
been...
lots of things to say, but... They didn't show us anything new at this Direct.
Okay, because that's why I didn't write much.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much new.
It bugs me, because there's all these... I see tweets after the Direct saying, wow, new Mario Party looks sick. This thing they showed. I'm like, gee, you're hyped now. Why weren't you hyped before? They've already shown all of this.
Yeah, that's the problem. This Direct
You're not
has
a
shown
true
a
fan.
lot of repeats, but it was still really good. We should talk about that in a little short video.
Sure, that's fine.
I'll make a note of that. So after that, one thing I thought would be interesting is City Skylines for the Nintendo Switch. That's basically SimCity for the Nintendo Switch. And so I'm pretty excited. I liked SimCity. The last SimCity I played was 4. Never played whatever was after that. Never paid attention. But yeah, this one, full 3D, looks amazing. SimCity 4 was so old. They had 2D sprite art for the buildings, and it was... We also had a crappy computer, so it didn't even work with the 2D art, which is just so terribly sad. But yeah, I'm excited. You can follow people throughout the town. You can stalk them and watch them go throughout their day. And yeah,
That's why I was looking forward to it.
basically SimCity, only fully 3D and on the Switch, which is just a bonus point for anything that's on the Switch because you can play that anywhere you want. Anyway, so I thought that was a good mention. Let's see if I said anything specific. Nope. Nothing else. Okay. And Yoshi's Crafted World, which kind of looks like Little Big Planet, only in art style,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
Not in gameplay.
Gameplay's not.
But their main point was that you could flip the level around and run through it backwards, which
It's different than the first time they showed the game.
the first time was anticlimactic.
The very first time they showed the game, they were like, look, you can turn it around for different perspectives. And he just, like, would ground pound and it would flip the screen. I feel like since it's taken so... They've realized they needed
changed
more
a lot.
development. And so since the last time we saw it, the way the whole game works is kind of different. But
Yeah, there isn't
it looks good.
too much to say. I do like the art style. I loved the art style in Little Big Planet, and
Yeah.
I thought it was a shame that no one else ever tried that.
It seemed
But-
kind of like a little baby game at first. But if you really pay attention, there's like some... It's like hard to find all the secrets and stuff. Like there's some platforming. There's like... Some actual gameplay in there.
I can see some really good hidden
Yeah.
stuff in that game with how the art style works. Alrighty. So here's the big part of the Direct and why people liked it. There was a bit of a... Everyone who talks about this, we're late to the party talking about this, but it was... everybody describes it as a roller coaster. Do you know anything about what I'm hinting at all?
No.
Okay,
No
so...
clue.
To describe, we get to the end of the Direct, they do their classic little fade-out thing, and then they fade in, and it shows Isabelle from Animal Crossing in the mayor's office, just like cutting around, doing all this busy work, and she stops and she's like, oh man, I've been working so hard, and you're like, no, keep going. You can do this, and she's like, yeah, and she daydreams a little bit about taking over the world. Basically becoming mayor, but and then
Big mayor.
the postman, the whatever the frick is he a pelican? What? No, yeah, that's what the male
Yeah.
people are. They're
The male
pelicans.
guy.
He
Pete, whatever.
Pete, yeah, he whatever. He comes in. I haven't played Animal Crossing in a long time. It's another 3DS title I never really got a chance to play, but I do own it. He comes in, delivers a letter, and you're like, okay, she's getting a letter. This is Smash. It's definitely Smash.
And it says not actual gameplay footage.
Yeah, so...
Guaranteed Smash character.
Yeah, but they have to show that every time because they have the best cinematics, but it's never gameplay. So I was watching this after the fact, after if it was already streamed. I couldn't watch it at work. But my wife was next to me, and she's like, they can't put her in Smash. She doesn't fit for Smash. And I was like, this is Smash. This is everything set up for Smash. And then, lo and behold, Isabelle, cute little Shih Tzu animal anthropomorphic creature is in Smash, which is awesome. I'm actually really excited. And then everyone was like, well, I guess there's no Animal Crossing. They fade out. They fade back in with Tom Nook at the computer. And you're like, oh shiz. Either he's also in Smash, which would be really weird, or this is Animal Crossing. And he talks and he's like, everybody's been... This is really awkward sounding. Everybody's been smashing and camping. And then he's like, well, I've got to prepare for everyone who's going to come back. And then it's like, bam, Animal Crossing's 2019. The power also goes out, but, that's just how crappy Nook's everything he has is crappy. Everybody hates him for some reason, too.
Change the name of Nook's Cranny to Nook's Crappy.
His first store, Nook's Crappy.
Yeah.
It has a freaking sheet metal roof. What a... Man. All of his wealth is based off of you, too. What a garbage can. Anyways, so that was the Direct. God, I don't even know how long we've been going. Alrighty. So, some quick points. Well, now we're getting into Ben's territory.
Hey.
One more Switch thing, though. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. No, it's fine. I'm intrigued. I don't.
This is
have the
Japan
knowledge,
only. Japan only. No plans to bring it anywhere else. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be a streamable title. So it's not officially on the Switch, but you can download an app or program on the Switch that'll let you stream the game to it.
Pretty interesting.
Which is really cool, and I never looked up the correct amount of money for that. I have written here $75 for 2 years access to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So
at that point, why don't you just buy it?
Different.
The game is
well,
$60.
If you only have a Switch and you're like, I really want to play Assassin's Creed, then I don't know who you are because Assassin's Creed isn't on the Switch, and you're in Japan only. So screw everything.
Ouch.
I have something we didn't cover that was in the Direct.
Oh boy, let's see.
Final Fantasy.
Oh
It's
yeah,
this whole long bit of Final Fantasy, and it was like
not an RPG fan. So
they
my bad.
started off really slow, and it was like Crystal Chronicles. And it's like, we already heard about this, and then they're like Chocobo something or other, and I'm like, I don't care.
Who cares?
What the heck is this? And then they're like Final Fantasy VII, and it was like, Wah!
That's a very notorious game. I've never played any of them. But I know that one is very popular. Was it on the PlayStation originally? Yeah.
So it's never been on a Nintendo console. But Cloud has been on a Nintendo console, so it's like, what? But now everyone can play it.
Yeah, there are 5 Final Fantasy games coming?
I think so.
Like, they announced this all at once.
They announced one officially, and then it was like, in the future, also these 4. Something like
that. Yeah. A lot of just Final Fantasy fans are pretty excited, but... Okay. Ben.
Take it away, Ben.
Ben, here's something for your
I would just
area.
like to point out with Odyssey that it looks awesome. And I like the direction they're going with the franchise, and they're doing a more RPG-centric
Some
game.
RPG is fine.
There's more...
For me.
There's dialogue choices. I don't know how in-depth they are. From the trailer I saw, it was like, basically, help people, don't help people, like, was a dialogue choice. These people are, like, begging, like, oh, you need to help us. And you get 2 options, and one of them is like, yes, I'll help you.
Like in the first Assassin's Creed?
I hope so.
Those freaking annoying...
I can't tell you how much time
Can
I
you
spend
kill them?
in Assassin's Creed games. I will just run down the street in those games and just knock into people until my character falls over. Because it's just the funniest thing every time.
I've only played the first Assassin's Creed, but those beggars, oh my gosh. They're so horrible.
Oh. Yeah, so I admire what they're doing with that, and the ability to choose between a female and male protagonist, which
Hey,
that's pretty cool.
that's been done before, but
It's been done before, but not in Assassin's Creed. I mean, Syndicate has you play as the guy
two
and the girl,
different
and you,
characters.
You can choose
switch
between them.
Yeah,
But this
that's
changes
right.
like the whole game. Like you're that character through the whole game. It's the guy or the
Oh,
girl.
okay, that's cool. I like that.
You can choose a more pacifist way to do it, and it affects the way the world is. Again, it's nothing new, but for Assassin's Creed, I think it's great because the gameplay of those games, the story, all that is fantastic.
Okay,
So that is my
we're
bit on
getting
that.
we're getting close to the end of my notes. We are very close.
So I see you have
a couple days ago. Yes,
Oh,
this
yeah,
this.
Power A.
So, Power A. This is just a side note. Power A is releasing a new controller. I'm mixed about Power A's quality.
Yeah,
they're almost like Mad Catz, but I don't know. People seem to like their controllers. I'm confused. But they're making a wireless controller for $50. It has motion capabilities. Has 2 or 3. I couldn't tell. I didn't want to research enough to determine. There's at least 2 buttons on the inside of the controller where you can just program them to whatever you want, and that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So,
Not bad.
and
Can
then
I just say one thing?
yes,
It is the year 2018, and like hardly any games have customizable controls.
yeah.
They did that in like 1994 in Super Metroid.
What is up with like?
Why don't they let us do that in every game?
A
I
lot
don't
of these
understand.
games, except for like the gosh dang it, what's the exclusives? That's the word I'm looking for. Except for the exclusives, like a lot of these games are on PC anyways. They have the interface for it
Yeah.
to customize the controls, and they
Yep.
just like take it out. So that's
Yeah.
the thing.
A lot of games
So-
now, it's just, I want to go change like the orientation of the controls, but it just shows you the controls. And you
I
can't
swear
actually
it was
change
like
them.
in the 90s you could customize your control. I mean, you couldn't actually. It was like Super Metroid and I don't know that many others. But like, let's say way back in the 90s you could do that. Anyway, 2000s they had like different setups. It's like, oh, you can play this
Yeah, that
version
was
of
common.
the controls
That was common
or
through
this
the
version.
2000s.
of
Well, it
the
was like you had
controls.
like normal, and then like they called Southpaw was. I think
Yeah.
that was Xbox. I don't know if that was.
I'm thinking of
anywhere
Halo.
else.
There was like 3 or 4 different ones you could.
like
Yeah.
this would
You
like
punch
jump
with this
instead.
or you punch with B
Exactly.
or whatever.
It really just shuffled them around.
Yeah.
Was all.
And then now is
It's
There's a
just-
lot
that's
less
what it-
options.
These
Yeah.
are the controls, and
Just-
that's it.
how are we going backward?
Though to note, Halo still has those options. Good on them. There's too many of those games. So here we go. Finally, the PlayStation Classic.
The big thing that everybody
The small
loves or
thing.
hates entirely.
So I have written here December 3rd as a release date.
December 3rd.
That's
I actually
really
didn't know it was that soon.
quick.
Yeah.
That's quick.
I mean, it's only got 20 games on it, really.
But people-
Like, if it was
so-
like 50 games, I would say, okay, maybe next year, and like price would be 3 times as much.
People are weirded out because they only announced 5 games, and they are Final Fantasy
I was hoping
VII.
you wrote them down because I forgot to write them
Final
down.
Fantasy VII, really popular. Not gonna play it ever because I'm not an RPG guy.
Jumping.
I don't know,
Flash.
maybe. Jumping Flash, I don't know what that is. Apparently it's kind of popular. Why would they choose it if it wasn't? R4, Ridge Racer Type 4, which is a rally game. That one was really popular, and it kind of holds up pretty well. I've played
And
it recently.
Tekken 3, a big popular fighting game.
Yeah.
A lot of people's favorite
So-
Tekken game.
Those are the only ones, and it's odd that they, like...
Wait.
People are...
I thought there were 5 that came out.
Well, I forgot
doesn't
to write
matter.
one down.
Plus one other
There's a
one.
5th one that
Something
we're not
else.
mentioning here. I'm sure it's good.
This is our first episode.
The
Give us
the
slack.
biggest one was Final Fantasy VII. That's the one everybody was happy about because everybody was kind of saying like, "Where the heck is Spyro? Where the heck is Crash?"
Yeah.
Like,
So
It's probably
here's another.
It's probably
people,
in the 20.
People
It's
are
gotta be.
weirded out that they only announced these 5 or 4 or 5 whatever because there are suspicions that they haven't gotten all of the trademarks and stuff worked out.
well, that's possible.
So December 3rd seems a little iffy if they haven't worked out all that stuff because if they bring in like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 or 2, they have to get all the permissions for all the music in that game. They have to like the company who owns the game currently. There's a lot of just
And
really
they have-
annoying
they-
paperwork.
They got to put in everything that was there
It's
originally.
it's
gotta be the
easier
same.
for something like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro because those games have their own stuff going on. But like Gran Turismo 2 was way popular, and they would have to get all those permissions again. That's like you saw GTA 4 a while back, had all their real music taken out, and it was just left to whatever they put in themselves. And that's because of just how contracts work and everything. And so people are suspicious that they're jumping the gun a little bit and being like, we're working on this, and not waiting until it's all ready. But if they can make it work by December 3rd.
Yeah,
hey,
I'm assuming they
if
wouldn't
they
give
can.
a hard date if it wasn't like very close for everything to be done.
Also, I'm going to be too busy spending money on Smash in December. I can't pay $100
What?
for a classic console. But it comes with two controllers.
Like I said, it better have Spyro, Crash, like Silent Hill.
It's got to have Silent Hill too. Yeah.
Silent
reason-
Hill, that's a big one I want. I want to see that because I never played it, and my wife like lost the copy she had, and I've never had a chance, and emulators don't work properly and all that. But
The only reason I could see them not putting Crash or Spyro on it is just because they're making like the HD trilogies for them
maybe
again.
that's possible because
But-
Yeah.
the Spyro Reignited
They're-
thing comes
it's
out
not even out.
a month before.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
crazy.
maybe they figure people don't want that, so they'll replace
Jack
it
and
with
Daxter maybe is one.
Could be,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Those are like stuff like Resident Evil, Jack and Daxter. Even like they kind of re-released those on the PS4 and PS3. So maybe they might do that.
What is that? PlayStation Now or something?
No. Resident Evil 0, I think it's just called 0, and 1. They had like remaster kind of things. They're not as intensive as like the Crash or Spyro ones are going to be.
It's
but
like
they were polished.
It's like Nintendo when they did an HD version of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It was just like textures and shaders.
I don't think that they'll like. I don't think Resident Evil, Silent Hill maybe because the PS3 port of Silent Hill. Actually maybe that was just 2 and 3. Man, I need to do more research about this crap. But just hopefully they have good games on the 20-game roster because that's not very many to play in.
Especially
there's a lot of big things there.
The PS1 is one of the best selling consoles out there, and there's a lot to be represented there. So
20 is a small number. It's thin pickings.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. What are some things you have for us?
So I just had 2 other points that we can maybe go into, or I can go into, whatever.
Cool.
The first one would be another PlayStation thing, the recent update to the PlayStation Now service, which as of September 20th, users can download and stream PS4 and PS2 games, some PS4 games, and I think, I didn't read whether it was all the PS2 games that they remastered and put up for the service, but now you can download them instead of just streaming, which is great, I think, for the service, but I still don't think it's worth it. And I still wish they just made their games more backwards compatible than they are, but, yep, and right now it's for $9.99 instead of $20 for a month, just if you try it out, and yeah, that's that.
It's $20 a month normally?
Yeah, it's normally $20 a month, which is a little high. I mean, you get access to everything, but who...
I'm thinking of canceling Hulu, and
like,
that's like
the idea of streaming a game... Because, I mean, if you get PS Now, you get a whole ton of games that you can access. Like, you can stream a whole lot of them. But streaming games doesn't work that well, really, for most people.
So, here's a question. Do you have to pay for PlayStation Plus in order to use PlayStation Now?
Okay. See, I read a thing about this, but I didn't write it down. I don't think they're independent. They're not attached to each other.
That would suck if they were like, you have to pay this a year and then this a month.
I have to imagine that if you got a PlayStation Now game that was online, you'd have to use PlayStation Plus to play online. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
okay.
Either way, that's the changes. I think it's great to be able to download games through the service because most people can't stream games at a consistent rate and have them look good or play good because most people don't have amazing internet.
Oh gosh.
Even with Ethernet, it doesn't work entirely well for some people.
Do you still have to be connected to the internet just to like play them after you downloaded them?
I don't think so.
Because otherwise, how does it work?
That would be...
you have to come online at like intervals or something, so it can just verify it. Is what I read.
That's like the NES games on the Switch. You have to log in each week.
It just has to make sure that you still exist or whatever. So
okay.
I think that's a good change. I think I don't know what games are included and what aren't. I read that almost all PS4 games and the PS2 games that were remastered for PS4 will be available. So,
okay,
it'll still be a good roster, and for people just starting out, $9.99 is pretty good, I think.
Cool.
This is one me and McKay were talking about earlier. So just yesterday, Telltale Games, of the Walking Dead games fame, story-based Sam and Max
Minecraft
games,
Story Mode,
Tales from the Borderlands, etc. They announced their sales have been suffering, and they had to, quote, begin a majority studio closure.
Yeah, so
Ouch.
everybody in that company except for 25 people have been laid off. And that really sucks because they are really good at what they do, and it baffles me that they haven't met the sales. I don't know if maybe their production is too expensive.
I had a few thoughts on this. So one factor I think that's a problem is their episodic format, personally. Because you think about it, they make a huge investment into a game to start making it as they go. And maybe, I don't know about exactly how the investments and all that go, but I think most people wait until the whole season of their games are out before they buy them. I do. Like, when The Walking Dead, this recent Walking Dead season, the final season, I've been really excited to play it, and I'll talk more about that later. But I always wait until they put all 5 episodes out, because I want to play the whole thing in one go. I don't want to wait for another episode to come out. And I wonder sometimes if maybe that's affected their income, their sales, because people wait.
Yeah.
It might.
They might not be able to maintain themselves while they're still working on the project.
Maybe. And they always, I've noticed whenever they release their games at the beginning, it's discounted it's like 25% discount on their games, like from the start. And I just wonder if that was a good idea for them. I think that was their way of trying to get people to buy the game outright, like at the beginning.
Maybe it didn't
And I don't think it worked. That, or they couldn't compensate for it.
This is just, it's just kind of upsetting, but I see here, I'm part of the problem because I love the company, but I never really bought their games, and so it's partially my own fault.
Here's another thing. So, another factor I think that played into this was YouTube.
Yeah, you go. There's an issue for you.
A lot of people will just watch Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, etc. play these games because they're story-based games.
Right.
They're perfect for watching. My wife, she would never play a Telltale game, but whenever I load one up, she'll watch me play it. Some people just don't like playing those kind of games. They like to watch them, but they find it boring to just point and click. It's not fun.
That starts out with a lot of other stuff. Like, you could find solutions, but a lot of them, most solutions will probably just cause drama.
Yeah.
Anything with YouTube that causes any sort of change, everyone will freak out.
Yeah.
So you can't you can't create some sort of subscribe system to help support those games when you're just watching all the work they did.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate right now.
So I think that
the system doesn't work for them right now.
I think people watching those games because they're more fun to watch than play for some people. For a lot of people, probably. Because I know a lot of people want a more interactive game experience. I like the moving story where you with dialogue and stuff, but I know not a lot of people share the same opinion. And another problem that I was on Reddit just looking around about this, and one person pointed out that their game engine that they use is a little bit unstable, and it's not very efficient, and it can be kind of buggy sometimes, and they've been using the same one
for every...
I don't know 100% on that, so I won't go too much into that, but I know for a fact their game engines are a little bit behind other people they've caught up quick with their recent games, like the Guardians of the Galaxy game and the most recent Walking Dead series looked really good, but everything before that, it was kind of...
I remember, even back in, when did Walking Dead come out? Was that, 2012, before that even?
Yeah, it was 11, 12, I think.
I got the game, it was on an iPhone 4, granted, but I bought it on the iPhone 4, the first 2 episodes, and I thought they were pretty lackluster in appearance, but I played them anyways. It was laggy as frick because the iPhone 4 was slow. But,
and it was, it's stylized, so it doesn't look horrible, but they were kind of...
They were trying to make it hold up later.
Yeah.
So,
But they needed to. I think they're just barely catching up to their engine not looking as good. Excuse me. But I think it's a bit too late for that.
Yeah. Well, obviously not.
Well, yeah, very obviously.
One last thing we have.
Oh, I had more.
Oh, you have more?
I had more on that, actually.
Oh,
real
okay.
Quick. Sorry. Another reason is that their games are too niche for the audiences that are looking for them. So only people who like the particular franchises that are covered by Telltale games will play them. And even then, only people who happen to like playing games, which is a given in like Minecraft Story Mode, obviously they like to.
Yeah.
But it has to fit. They have to like the franchise, they have to like playing games, and they have to like story, point, and click based games.
Yeah, more
So
slow-paced, not really action.
You're looking at a pretty small group of players.
Yeah.
Like, I love it, but I know that my opinion is not shared by everybody.
Yeah, that is a good
it's
point.
very niche. Like, not everyone who likes Game of Thrones wants to play the Game of Thrones Telltale game. You know what I mean? Like, not all of their fans are gamers, and not all of their gamer fans are going to want to play a point-and-click story game. If they would want to see it, they'd watch it on YouTube, and that goes back to that original problem.
The issue.
My last... Okay. I won't go into that, but I had 2 more points on that. I know I have a lot on that. Sorry. I really like Telltale. But this will likely affect the Walking Dead final season. It might not be finished.
Yeah, that was one thing I
currently
was wondering about.
Season 1 or episode 1 and 2 are out, but according to a supposed former lead designer of the team from Reddit, episode 3 is not shippable in its state, and only the script is done for episode 4. And there's usually 5 episodes per, and it's possible that might not be finished, so we don't get an ending to, Clementine's story, which would be kind of heartbreaking. And also, there was the Wolf Among Us Season 2 that was supposed to come out next year. Not going to happen anymore.
Yep.
So that's a shame.
Yeah.
I hope they can finish it. I hope the 25 people they have left, bare bones. I know that like in game development that might sound like a lot to some people, but it's really not.
Look at the credits at the end of movies is a good example, but
that's true.
games,
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's like insane.
25 people.
Yeah,
is
nobody
like
ever clicks the
team.
credits. Come on.
The last thing is a good one. This is a positive note. After all this came out, Ubisoft San Francisco tweeted, #Telltale Jobs folks. Meet us Monday 9/24 on the patio at BJ's in San Rafael starting at 4:30 p.m. Let's talk about job opportunities over some drinks and food, our treat.
See, that
Good guy,
I saw
Ubisoft.
that too. That's really cool.
I mean, you could say what you want about Ubisoft or anybody else, but that's a good move. That was
gives me fuzzies.
That was good.
And heart.
Throughout all that, they're trying to help the people get back on their feet, which I'm sure at least some of the people at Telltale already had jobs lined up because they probably knew it was coming. Hopefully, I hope so.
Yeah. If they just but
that
would suck really bad.
That's okay. That's all I had.
All right. The last point, we won't go into this too much, but Valve came up with a statement a little bit ago. They said they were in a place to make games again. Which,
yes.
When was the last game? Portal 2? Portal 2. That was what? 2012?
Yeah, they've licensed stuff of here and there, but like
all their little
Bridge
side projects. Their side
Lego
projects
Dimensions.
are cool.
Sure, that was 2012. It seems even older than that.
It might be.
No,
I'm probably wrong.
It was Portal 2. Was
that
2012?
Very
was
close
11?
to before graduating high school. So
I think it was 11 or 12. I really can't remember.
Yeah,
what year that was, but it's been quite a few years.
It's been a long time since we've gotten a full feature game from them, and everybody wants to see it. We want Left 4 Dead 3, possibly Team Fortress 3. Half-Life is the biggest disappointment in gaming ever.
It's like Valve, okay.
Like what?
Hardware,
2000, was it 2007?
Yeah,
Half-Life
it's been
Episode 2?
years.
It's been really long. It's been a long time.
So Half-Life has been, nowhere to be found except the Half-Life
the VR
Epistle. No, the
Oh,
epistle thing,
they've been doing
the
VR
written
stuff, but-
ending, the unofficial written ending, which I thought was great, but it wasn't set in stone.
Yeah.
And then you have
Not
Team Fortress
official.
2, which the Team Fortress 2 team is like tiny at this point. It's like 3 people. Left 4 Dead, who knows?
Yeah.
What else do they have?
All we've seen is concept.
Dota and Counter-Strike. That's all they care about.
We haven't really seen the Source 2 engine in its full glory. Okay? Can we just...
Is Dota...
Dota 2...
in Source 2,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
in Source 2,
But
but
it's not really the best example.
that's... yeah. Anyway, so that's our last point. That's a very positive point.
So within the next 5 years, we might see Artifact 2.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, Artifact looks kind of cool.
And on
Let's
that
not lie to
horrible
ourselves.
note...
It looks kind of cool. I think Artifact looks a little bit neat. But that's it. It's not cool. It's not awesome. It's not amazing. It's just, that's kind of neat.
Anyways, thank you so much if you've tuned up with us thus far. We congratulate you. That is an achievement.
Yeah.
Whatever platform you're on, except for the Switch, you get an achievement.
Nice.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.